Hey, thanks so much for joining us on Keep Your Head Up Hockey. I'm your host, Jamie Young. We've got Dylan Nose, Brennan Finch, and Jason, the J Dog, in the house. We It's our sixth show now, and it'll be our third live now, but our first on YouTube. So thanks for joining us if you're watching. Um, and we actually have a pretty exciting guest on the show really quickly here. We're going to throw him up here. And we can't hear him for some reason. Let's try and see if we can get this.
Just keep your head up on the
Oh,
talk
there
show.
we go. Let's start that again. There we go. The little technical issue.
Jamie Wendell Clark here, wishing you a Merry Christmas from Jay. All the best. Keep your head up on the talk show. Hey, make sure it's all about the Leafs. Go Leafs, go. We're out here in the winter. Look at that. Got the Leafs chair ready for the games. All the best. Merry Christmas. Go Leafs, go.
And go Leafs, go indeed. But you know what? I'm gonna say to my friend Jason Anderson, thanks so much for organizing that. I don't know how you did it, but you did it, and you got a shout out for the show and myself from Wendell Clark. And boy, that's something pretty special from a diehard Leaf fan that grew up watching Wendell Clark and Doug Gilmour and the boys. But yeah, we'll get going here. As time is always a issue with our show. Yeah, here we go. Show the buck. Yeah, what a classic Wendell Clark is. You know, what a diehard Leaf, and really played with his heart on his sleeve, and really gave every single thing in every one of his shifts that he ever played. And number one draft pick by the Leafs too back in the day, you know, and boy, did that ever pay off. What a career that guy had, and what an epic icon of the NHL, and still, you know, making an impact. I don't know if he does that for work now or not, but you know, doing those things for people, it makes a huge impact in their lives, and a really nice, you know, Christmas card to send out to friends and family. So shout out to you, Wendell, and I hope to get you on the show one day. That'd be my absolute dream to get you behind a mic and on Keep Your Head Up Hockey. But thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it. We'll get started. We're gonna keep going with our themes. You know, we've got a bunch of themes on the show. We'll talk about who's hot in the NHL. And I got to say here, you know, Empire State of Mind again for the New York Rangers. They're still rocking in a really good year. And there's 3 wins in a row now, 8-2 last 10 games. We talked about them last time. I got to say, Pastrnak is by far the guy that's running for the MVP of the year. Or sorry, not Pastrnak. Gosh, brain fart here. Gosh, a little bit live, but who am I talking about? The bread maker.
Panarin.
Yeah, Panarin. Gosh, I don't know how I got them mixed up. There's
Doe man.
That's why.
Pay him his money.
So, yeah, a little bit of toke tonight. No, definitely not. But Panarin's had one heck of a year, and just been rocking and rolling, and he keeps it up. And you know, those boys are doing really well. Panarin got 35 points, you know, and just really rocking and rolling. Kreider helping out, 22 points. Trocheck, 22 points, and Badye, 19. Lafreniere starting to really produce, getting 15 points. So those guys are rocking and rolling. Let's get somebody else's opinion on the Rangers. Let's have J Dog talk. Jay, what do you think about the Rangers? How they playing lately?
Wow, they coming from the back end out. Obviously, they got one of the best defensive cores in the league, and they're I can't say it. Zhirkin.
Yep.
Turkin.
Gherkin.
Yeah. Anyway, obviously playing pretty well. Mind you, he's not getting a lot of shots. That team blocks a lot of shots, and they're not. Anything that's coming in is from the outside. There's not a lot. They're not allowing a lot of guys to get to the dirty spots in front of the net. And when they're there for 3 to 5 seconds, and they're gone because somebody's putting a pounding on them. So I credit the defense and obviously the goaltending, but you know, as far as the goaltending is concerned, he's not getting you know, solid shots on him. They're protecting him very well.
And yeah, Turkin's like having a great year so far. You know, 10 wins, 4 losses, a 916 save percentage, you know, so he's really doing well for them. And we already commented on John Quick last show. Just 7 wins and 1 OT loss, like having one of the best records in the league with a 918 save percentage. So doing really, really well. We're not going to comment on all these guys so far. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to jump to another team, and we're going to jump to Pumping Oil in Edmonton. We'll talk about these guys a little bit longer because they're starting to warm up. You know, they've hit oil here, and finally, McDavid is starting to produce. I'm loving it. I absolutely am loving it. He's now got 29 points for the year. So is Draisaitl. So those guys are rocking and rolling. They usually did, in the last few years. Hyman too. What a gem Hyman is. And I wish he was still in the Leafs. 23 points, and Bouchard 22 points, Kane 20. So they've got 5 guys over 20 points. And then Nugent Hopkins right there too with 18. And I gotta say, Darnell Nurse +3, 9 points. He's starting
super surprising.
Well.
Got his name
really
right too.
That as well
This time.
But yeah, no, I'll throw it over to Dylan, and I'm gonna have my boy Brendan comment as well on the Oilers. Go ahead, Dylan.
It's been fun to shit on the Oilers for a while because they were supposed to be so good, so we had some fun with it. But no, I doubt it. We're going to be saying much in terms of negativity about this team going forward, other than there's still a question mark around that goaltending. So they're going to be a lot like the Leafs, where they're going to win these games 5-4, 6-4. They're going to score a lot of goals, and they're going to let a lot of goals go past them. But their power play is deadly, and obviously McDavid is going to be getting his fair share of points and goals in the next coming months. And the season is long, man. Don't write them off quite yet. I never wrote them off. They had a rocky start, but lots of teams do. They're expected to do well, and they will climb the standings here and make the playoffs, obviously. And that's they're going to be a top contender and now they're starting to find some cohesion, working together. Darnell Nurse, I guess he's finally starting to earn his paycheck. What is it, a contract year or something?
I mean, for that guy, it had to be. But yeah, no, I'm totally on board with exactly what Dylan's saying. 4 wins in a row, that's great. I mean, you can't count a team like that out. With all the firepower, it's kind of surprising that they're still -5, to be honest, goal differential.
Yeah.
You look at a team like you look at the Oilers, and everyone's talking about the upside, and stuff like that. And there is a lot of fucking upside to that team. Don't get me wrong. But then they look at the bottom of the other conference, and they're like, the Senators, how are they playing so shitty? Well, I mean, hey, we're on the positive side of the goal differential. That's right. So far, hey, knock on wood, buddy, 2-1 against a team like that. I'm not going to discount the Rangers, anyways. But I'm still, it's a sensational evening. You're right. But no, the Oilers, there's a lot of season left, man. Quarter of the way through, a team like that with a power play like they've got, all they've got to do is play smart and stay on the positive side. Where they've got more power play than penalty kill, and they're going to win a lot of fucking games. They're going to make a deep run in the playoffs this year. I'm calling it now. I mean, I'm looking at it.
Goalie too. They're going to pick up a goalie.
Well, and that's the thing. They'll make that addition.
They'll make a deal or two here.
Yeah.
They're going
to have to. If they're not all in this year, when the fuck will they be all in?
Yeah.
Right.
They have to be. 22 games in though. Lots of hockey to play left. We're only a quarter in, right, boys? And that's why there's 82 games in the season. Get adjusted, make those adjustments that you need to. And I really think that the Oilers, with their new coach, have made a great run so far. Some major changes, and obviously, they're practicing some better strategy that's working well in the last 10 games, and I'm really impressed with them. With the 7-3 in the last 10 games with a 4-game winning streak. It's really nice to see. And I'm a fan of McDavid. I always have been. I'd love to see him do well, and I'd love him to lead that team to, a Stanley Cup or to a really deep run. It'll be really exciting to see. And they got some great fans in the Oil Town. So kudos to them, keep it up. Time will tell, right? We'll see what they have to say. J-Dog, what do you think?
Well, as far as the Oilers are concerned, they need to market the team better. As far as I'm concerned, he's the face of the friggin' franchise, face of the hockey, really in general. And you don't see anything about him because he's got the friggin' personality of a wet sock. He doesn't talk. When he does, and it's like there's nothing there. You don't see it. He looks like he's dead inside. It's crazy.
He's got a lot of Jonathan Taves in him.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of agree. And I'll say, like, at least his counterpart, Draisaitl, as odd and weird as he is, he's entertaining. And when he talks, he says dumb shit, but he's funny. And I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or it's the German, sense of humor or like whatever. But at least he's fun to listen to, And the things he says, he's pretty much to the point. And he doesn't beat around the bush other than the dry sense of humor jokes. But at least he's entertaining. And you'd think that the face of the NHL, or he would be the face of the NHL. He's the best player in the world by far. But he should be the face of this league, and he's not.
He doesn't have that superstar swagger for sure.
No, he's got nothing.
He just gets pissy. All his post-game interviews, he's just all pissy all the time.
I know. He's like a little girl.
How the fuck would you feel? How the fuck would you feel playing for the Oilers?
I'm pretty happy making $12 million a fucking year.
That's fine and dandy. Money is great and everything, but that guy's he's got generational wealth coming his way. He doesn't have anything to worry about financially. He's after championships and legacy, man. Legacy goes everywhere. Exactly, right? And so, how fucking 100%. Angry would you be? I'd be fired right the fuck up right on him, man, for calling it his goaltending. I call it my goaltending too. I do it every year for an Ottawa fucking fan.
Yeah, but we talked about this in our first show ever. We talked about this being like, that guy is not a leader in the dressing room. He's the captain, because he's the best player in the world. But like, you see his personality in interviews, and what is he saying in the dressing room? Like, the guys even like him? Do they even get along? Does he just go home and play video games? Like, what are they hanging out together, having beers? Like, I don't.
He has tea with his wife. He has tea with his wife in his proper house, and pets his dog slowly.
That's
what Connor McDavid does.
And he does against the guys. He does a lot for the game.
I love him as a hockey player, as a person. I got to agree with J-Dog. Shake yourself. Show people your personality. Break out your. I don't know. Like, I wonder if he was like that in high school.
You know what? Maybe that's what he is. Maybe that's what he is.
Yeah, probably is what he is.
Yeah,
and so be it. So be it. Yeah. So
Connor McDavid, if you're listening and you know Connor McDavid, get on the show and prove yourself wrong. Let's see some personality.
Wendell, send Connor a message.
We'll get him one day, boys. We'll get him.
We'll move it on. Another team that's just firing right now is Cowtown, is Calgary. And I love this city. I grew up going to it. I got family there. What a great city. And a great fan base. Man, if you are a Calgary fan, you have been there since you were 2 years old. You don't jump ship. You're behind your team and you support them and you show up for hockey games. That building is packed every game, and it's just inspiring to see. It's just amazing. They played really well recently. They had a slow start. They really did. Like, they're 5-4-1 at home. In a way, 5-7-2. So they've had their struggles. But they've only got 11, minus in goals for average. 71 goals for, 82 goals against. Their last 10 games, they're starting to turn it around. 6-3-1. They're playing well, and they've got their top players playing well too. They've got Lindholm. I think he's on a 4-game point streak. Nazem Kadri, 15 points, right behind Lindholm. Lindholm's got 17. Huberdeau's got 15. Magnapan, he's right there, 14, and Coleman, 13, as well as Uyghur. So the boys are firing. Backlund too, 12 points as well. Gotta mention that. But they've got 11 players with 10 plus points, so they're starting to turn it around. I think that they must have come together on a road trip and said, boys, let's do this. Let's get together. Let's really try our best, and they have the last 10 games, and it's been great to see. They beat some good teams, and it's really nice to see that Calgary is starting to turn it around. Dylan, what do you think about Cowtown?
Yeah, I thought they were going to make the playoffs at the beginning of the year, and I still think they will. They obviously had a bit of a slow start out the gate, but they got a fighting team, a team that missed the playoffs last year. So a lot of those guys have a huge chip on their shoulder. They missed it by like a game or something, right? It was close, but I still they're still climbing they're still in the bottom in terms of a lot of these statistics. Like you look at their goals, their shooting percentage, a lot of these statistics are way down in the 28th to 29th in the league. So the only thing they're good at right now is the penalty kill. So maybe that's saving them a little bit, but they need to increase some of these other categories here and find a way. Even their power play 12.8%, it's just not good enough yet.
So basically you're saying get your shit together.
You have a team to do it.
They're starting to, with cows, they poop, they're getting their poop together, they're getting their shit together. They're tilting cows over, like give them a break. They tilted six cows over in the last 10 games. They're doing all right. And I wanted to mention too, before I throw it over to Brennan, they just beat the Dallas Stars 7-4, which is quite impressive. And that was on Friday, I believe. That's just huge, and they beat at the start
boys
of the
in
year.
Dallas must have been out drinking the night before.
Oh, hey, there's some boys on the back end they're looking to get traded, so that's probably why.
But if somebody beats a team 10-0, even in preseason, they've got a team that can score goals, and they did that against Vancouver. So that's one of my thoughts is that they've got their stuff together. They really do. They're coming around, and that was only on November 24th that they did beat the Flames beat the Stars 7-4. So and they beat Golden Knights too on the 27th 2-1, and then they beat the Stars again 4-3 on the 30th, and then just lost to the Canucks 4-3 on December 2nd. So
keep in mind that the Stars on the weekend beat the Lightning 8-1 or some shit like that.
Yeah,
too,
I
right?
saw that.
Yeah. So it's not like the Stars are any slouch, man.
I think we beat them in shootout or something. Just beat them. But
who the fuck are we? Are you on the bench?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I haven't got any ice time yet, but I'm getting out there.
All right.
Well, we got some PK minutes.
They beat Ottawa. First of all, they beat Ottawa, and then
that's not saying a fucking lie.
They took us to overtime, so that could have went either way.
And the only team that hasn't beat Ottawa is. I guess you would call it you guys. You.
That's all going to change on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Thursday night, Dylan's going, so you'll be there.
I'll be at the
person
game
to witness.
Buddy.
To witness the stomping. Hopefully,
I think we should have some sort of fucking fun wager on the line for that one.
Oh yeah, the show next week's gonna have something.
If you're gonna be there, and the Sens are up 3 goals plus going into the third period, you got a streak.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's
Jay.
Great role model move for my kids being there with me.
Oh, never mind. My kids are going to be there.
Yeah.
Family-friendly show, kind of.
Family-friendly.
Yeah.
Jay, what do you think about Cowtown and how they've done in the last 10 games?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, the back end, some of them are looking to get traded, so they're playing a little bit better. And I know the Leafs are looking at Tanev, and I'm pretty sure. Well, I think I'm having a brain fart for the other kid's name. There's 2
Zadorov.
of them there. Yes,
Zadorov.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that the Leafs are going to sign one of these guys. They have no choice right now. So somebody's got to get signed, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to fit him under the salary cap somehow or another, like they usually do somehow or another. But I think as far as the team's concerned, they're a hardworking team. They're a lunch pail, blue collar, working team. They represent the city the way they, the way the people are. They've always been that way. Hardworking teams, play aggressive, play tough. And the fans wouldn't accept anything else either. Like if they started playing like LA or whatever, it just wouldn't fly.
They're not going to be a finesse European style team ever.
No. Bang and crash.
Keep in mind right now, though, guys, is Calgary is basically their backups become their number one there. Darth Vladar, I like to call him.
Yeah.
Vladar,
so
he's
see
doing
what
good.
happens because his stats aren't great, but at the same time, obviously Markstrom's the way better goalie in a lot of categories, but we'll see if he's going to be a lightning in the bottle for them in the next few games. Because
I heard Pray tell that he might be injured a little bit, and that's maybe why he's not playing. He wasn't playing so well.
Markstrom,
a little groin.
Yeah, finger.
He's a great goalie.
So I don't know.
Took one off the finger and practice maybe.
That's never good.
But isn't that because didn't they have the e-bug? I think he took one off the finger in warm up, and then they had the e-bug in there like a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
And then Vladar got ran into in the first shift of the game, and the e-bug was like fucking wide-eyed.
Yeah, I saw that.
Imagine?
But
that's gonna be.
I got to comment on Zadorov. If the Leafs can pick up Zadorov, he's going to bring a lot of toughness to the Leafs that the Leafs really need. And I really hope that we can sign a guy like that. He's taken some heads off this year, like some huge hits. So I really hope that we get him rather than Tanev. But we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, we'll jump over. We'll keep the show going. Honorable mentions. I got a couple they're heating up a little bit, and I'm a little surprised by this one. Arizona. 5-game winning streak now, and really slaying some dragons, and playing really well lately. And I hope keep it up, because it's kind of inspiring to see. But also, we were kind of like digging on Boston last show, saying that they weren't playing so well, but they've turned it around. They've got a 3-game win streak right now, and it looks like they're right back in order. But I gotta say, the game against Boston Leafs, I think that if that was a 5-period game, the Leafs would have won. I think that they really played a great third period, battled back, scored really late in the game, and then it's a silly, stupid
period. Come on, I can't see. Come on. As a Leafs fan, I can't even get behind that one, JJ.
I really think so. I really think.
You know what? Okay, if it was the playoffs, where theoretically or realistically you could have a 5-period game, then yes, I agree in that sense. So you know what? Good for the Leafs for playing playoff hockey in December? I think we're already.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean,
what we're doing.
They played a good game.
I'm sorry that I found that so funny, man.
They took the point.
11 overtime games, though. I don't think any other team has 11 overtime games. The Leafs do. And they're a third-period hockey team.
50% of their games went to OT.
Oh, no doubt. They're grinding, man. Ottawa's only got 1 OT, and they won. Or, no, sorry, 2. They've got a shootout and an OT win, yeah.
All right, well, let's talk who's ugly.
About the wait, half of those.
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of wins out of overtime.
Yeah.
I like to say
they're winning hockey games.
The one team that everybody keeps forgetting about, and I mentioned it before, is the LA Kings. They've got 11 guys that they got double digits. They got Kempe, Moore, Kopitar, Fiala, and Byfield all have like 20 points or more. I think Byfield's at 18. Danault's playing phenomenal as per normal at both ends of the ice. He's got 13 points as well. And Doughty's up there with 11 points in the double digits. And these guys they're flying right now. So and the best part is, and we're talking about another Canadian team losing a good goalie. Talbot, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's playing lights out. He's playing lights out. So I think that's probably one of this is it. You talk about maybe Edmonton making it this year. They got to get through them, and I don't know that they're going to do it. I think that they got a solid team. Their first 3 lines are phenomenal.
And you don't think the Talbot's got it out for a team like Edmonton?
No shit.
Oh, definitely.
Very good point.
Definitely does. Yeah. Good comment, Jay. And we had talked about LA last week too, and they're on fire. They keep rocking and rolling for sure. And they're cruising in California, like I said last week, and they're doing really well. And I love watching them. They play really great hockey, and they're a quick-paced team, and really play every shift the whole game, and make it hard to play against them. So definitely a great team to watch out for, and definitely like if Edmonton's going to do anything in the playoffs, they're going to have to slay that dragon. It's going to be a hard one to slay. Let's talk about who's ugly right now. Oh my God, is it ugly in Anaheim right now? Boy, oh boy, they are not doing well. It is nasty. They have just absolutely shit the bed. The last bunch of games here, 2-8. Oh my! They have a goal differential of 29 goals. Like, that's just ridiculous. You cannot win hockey games when you're getting scored on that much. It is not good. They have 85 goals against. Like, it's just bad. So yeah, it's or 84 goals against, sorry. But they're not doing well. One win streak, and just having a tough year. And yeah, I don't know if it's going to improve. Their top guys, Vantro with 23 points, McTavish and Strome. McTavish has got 21, Strome's got 17, but then after that, Terry 13, Minyukov 13, Carlson 12. Nobody's producing on that hockey team. They can't score goals. And yet, defense wins hockey games, and they're getting scored on a lot as well. So when you can't score and you can't produce, it's going to be an ugly one. And Gibson is not doing well. 5 wins, 10 losses. Save percentage of 9.07. So he's saving a lot of pucks, but shots against, 471 shots against. So that's not good. But yeah, it's rough to watch. I knew that they wouldn't do well this year, but they've just really just dived down the last 10 games. And yeah, don't put your money on Anaheim right now against anyone, because I don't think that they can beat anyone. Brendan, what do you think about Anaheim, buddy?
They suck. And I don't think it's going to get any better. It's unfortunate. And like, I hate to say anything against the market in Anaheim, because they've had so much success in the past and stuff like that, right? But they don't have the big flashy stars or the names or anything like that. It just doesn't seem like that market supports them, and it's a bust, man. I'm not a buyer in Anaheim, just like I'm not a buyer in San Jose, and that market is the same damn thing. San Jose is a freaking joke.
Same real area, basically, right?
So, well, yeah, in San Jose, I mean, minus 55 goal differential through 25 games. I mean, and sadly, they're 500 in their last 10 almost.
Yeah, but you don't even know you talk about them, because you just know they suck. Like, everybody's talking about San Jose, like it's just ugly there, and people keep showing up to the games. Like, I'm seeing that they're actually having like a decent amount of people still go to the games compared to Anaheim. Anaheim's struggling to fill the seats.
Top 10
right
guys are minus 45. Like, how do you do that? How do you do that? That's insane. The crazy part is, I think the biggest problem here is you've got 6 young studs on that team with no leadership. I know they brought Killorn in and Henrique in to bring a little bit of leadership to that team, but these are not guys that were like the leaders on the team. They were like secondary leaders on the teams they were with before. And with Killorn in Tampa, he's got the Stanley Cup pedigree and whatever, but it's just too many young dudes on this team that don't, they just haven't had enough experience. And I don't believe that. I think, you want my honest opinion, because of those. Well, I'm just going to give it anyway. But I think because of those young dudes, and so many of them, with the attitudes that they have, Jamie Drysdale, Zegras, and whatever, like these, there's like that young generation, and their coach has got that old school mentality, and I think he's lost the room. That's my opinion.
I'll tell you what's going on with Anaheim, guys. What's going on with Anaheim is they got the curse from San Jose lifted from San Jose, and it went right over down the highway right to Anaheim.
It's like a storm.
It's like a big storm that blew right over. And if you look at that roster, it comes as no surprise. It was only a matter of time before they were going to start declining, and maybe they were just struggling to get some wins early on in the season, and their stats didn't really reflect how shitty that team really is. And now they're even shittier because Zegras is injured. So who knows what the timetable on his injury is and how he's going to be when he gets back. But he's played 12 games and he has 2 points. He's coming off a huge contract signing, $6.5 million. Money in the bank, and he's got.
And there's the problem.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Pay them
exactly. Yeah,
2 points in 12
paid him
games.
off.
And then you got a guy like Mason McTavish, who, good for him, stepped up. He's got 10 goals, and he's injured now too. So what are you gonna do? And Adam Henrique, I don't know if he's on the decline, but he hasn't done shit. He was a good player in New Jersey, but right now he's not, earning his paycheck. The only guy that earns his paycheck out there is Vetrano, really, when you look at his production. And this team's going to be a massive seller sooner rather than later. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Gibson will go to Edmonton.
Well, Gibson's seen more rubber than a $20 hooker down a corner bar.
I thought you were going to say it. Dead skunk on the Trans-Canada Highway.
Guys, I wanted to mention this question because Edmonton pulled the plug on their coach right away. They're having trouble. That's a market where you've got to win, just like Toronto, right? You're in a market like San Jose and Anaheim, and it's like, well, we're playing hockey. Who cares if we win or lose? How long do you wait to make a coaching change? Do you do it now right away, or do you give these guys a chance? Because I think that both teams should make a major change, whether it's a big trade or pulling both coaches and saying, let's get somebody in there to change this room to get these guys going. In my personal opinion, real quick, is that pull the plug on both coaches, get 2 new coaches in there, change it up, because what's working in practice is definitely not working on the game time. And if you can't practice the team well, you're not going to be good on the ice in regular season games. So my opinion is get rid of them right now.
And the Angels are about to lose Shohei Ohtani, so no one fucking cares about Anaheim anymore. The fans don't give a shit about the hockey team. The baseball team, they sucked last year and the year before with the best player in the world, and they're going to suck again. So, Hawks. Major sports at Anaheim's
segue
on the
perfect segue.
There you go. On the
perfect segue. Go into this next team. Perfect segue. I love it, Dylan. Shitting the bed in Chicago. Oh my God. The best player basically to come out of the juniors in years, and they can't put a team together. Like, these guys are absolutely brutal. Like, the only time they win is when Connor Bedard shows up and scores, 2 goals or a goal and 2 assists and gets it done. These guys cannot win a hockey game. They are 2-8 as well in their last 10 games and just doing terrible. They've lost the last 3 games and in terrible fashion, just not doing well at all. And they don't have anybody around them. They have nobody around this kid to really produce, especially when Perry's gone now. Like who's going to protect the kid, number one? Number two, Dickinson's only got 12 points, and Kurasev's got 13. Donato, 10. Johnson, 9. Like Foligno, 9. They've got nobody to help this kid. Taylor Hall, the biggest choke artist ever. Like, this kid was praised so hard coming into this league from the junior, and he's never produced. He is booking. He is probably 25 million suitcases because the kid just travels so many from team to team. Like, he can't just find a spot.
How many wives does he have?
Well, like, he's only got 4 points this year, 2 goals and 2 assists. Like, he's only played 10 games, so he was hurt there for a bit, but he's back, I believe. But like, only 4 points. Like, come on, Taylor Hall. Like, just ridiculous. But Connor Bedard's leading the team in scoring. Like, I can't say nothing bad about this kid. He's got 11 goals and 9 assists in his rookie season, and it's not easy to make that transition. And he used to skate with his head down all the time. I'm watching him. He's skating with his head up. He's making great plays, great passes. He's creating space for himself on the ice. He's getting open. He's whacking his stick on the ice. Give me the puck. He wants the puck, and they can't get it to him because they just flat out suck. And I don't think it's definitely not going to improve. Again, I think that maybe, they need to make a couple moves here. because they're not going to make the playoffs right now, like at all. Like, there's no way.
It's not the time for them to make a move.
It's early, dude.
But why would you keep Taylor Hall?
Well,
You know,
here-
he's
okay,
been moving time.
Shit
Who's
the
gonna
bed.
sign him?
Shit the
Who's gonna
bed. Get a
sign him?
high
Who's gonna
draft
take him?
pick next year.
Who's
I
going
mean-
to take him? He makes too much money. And dude, these things, just all this bullshit happened around Perry and him, in the last little bit. That just happened. That was like last week. So there's going to be a little bit of a downfall in that time period. You know, they're scrambling in the room with all the personalities going off on what happened. I'm sure half the dudes in there liked Perry or wanted Perry on the team. The other half, obviously, with whatever happened, are not very happy about it. And maybe, you know what, half those guys in that room might not really know what happened. They might not know. So, like I said, I expressed what I thought happened. I think that's actually what happened still to this day. But you know what? I could be wrong, but it doesn't really matter. Speculation, all that kind of shit that's gone on, they're fucking reeling from that still. And they've been reeling for the last couple of years because of all the other shit that happened in the last 2 years. Everything else coming out. So I'd give them a little bit of a break right now with what's going on. I'd say another 2 or 3 weeks. They'll be back I won't say in the mix for making the playoffs, but they'll start playing better.
It's bad.
I wanted somebody
Chicago,
to bring up the buzz in that room right now. I wanted somebody to bring it up. So thanks for bringing it up, Jay. But go ahead, Dylan.
You can hear me? Sorry. I'm a little technical dip. Yeah, it's bad in Chicago right now. Like, their heads are spinning down there. They got to get refocused. They need time. The only thing to get over this Corey Perry situation is time. And I'm telling you,
They need a
lot. They need a lot to man. They got some shovels and they are digging themselves a hole. And I don't even think they expected that out of a guy like Corey Perry. And I've been hearing a lot. I've been reading a lot about the Corey Perry incident. I've been following it pretty closely. And one of the biggest things that hasn't come out yet, and there's still more to come out. Don't get me wrong. This ain't over.
There's a lot to come out over Corey Perry.
There's a lot to come out. And here's the thing, okay? Look at every single player in the NHL that has had substance abuse problems, that has had issues with drugs and alcohol, and everybody is like a bleeding heart, like, oh, we got to help this guy. We got to send him to treatment. The NHLPA steps in. Like, nobody is helping Corey Perry right now. Corey Perry is on his own for whatever the fuck he did, and it's not good, and it is borderline illegal, if not illegal. I'm going to tell you right now, because there's no fucking way that they can terminate a contract in the NHL unless you broke the law. Because there's a player's agreement, there's a union, he can file grievance. Has he filed a grievance? Has he?
It's appealed.
My guess is that he perhaps physically assaulted somebody, maybe not seriously, or verbally assaulted somebody, or potentially sexually assaulted somebody, but maybe not. It's got to be.
Well, it doesn't have to be. That's the thing.
Based on the story that he got drunk and he was harassing somebody in the organization to a point that they felt uncomfortable enough to say something, and it was bad enough for them to A, not say shit for 3 or 4 days, and B, can the guy completely.
I agree.
And nobody's picked him up. And no one's
going to. He's done.
He's going to.
No.
He's not done.
But I want to hear what Jay has to
He's
say
gonna be
too.
playing next year.
And
He'll
we're
be
right
playing
to
in a couple
Brendan
weeks
too.
in the KHL.
After.
He's 38.
Go ahead, Jay. You're interrupted there. What do you want to say? And then we'll go to.
I said he'll be playing in a couple of weeks in the KHL.
Maybe.
Siberian Tigers, whatever.
I don't think that's a healthy place for him to be right now.
He'll be playing for the Trashers, buddy.
Yeah, you saw that.
The Atlanta Trashers gonna pick him up right away. Yeah, definitely.
But anyways,
but Brennan, what are your thoughts on this? You weren't here last week. What are your thoughts on what really happened with Perry? I do want to hear your thoughts, man.
There's
just
a lot of speculation. I mean, like, obviously, being in London here, and you hear a lot of stories, a lot of mutual friends, all that stuff. I don't know Corey personally, but you hear stories and stuff like that, and it's unfortunate because he had it's been such a great career, and a legacy to fall, and then some shit like this to come up at the end of it, and I feel like there was probably a build up towards it, hence why he's admitted substance abuse and seeking help and stuff like that. I just hope that he gets the help that he deserves and that he needs and stuff like that. But I think that any time that something like this is drummed up, there's a lot of follow up that goes along with it, right? Like anytime one victim, for example, if it does come down to that, if there is a victim involved in it, which unfortunately there seems to be, more will come forward, and that's just kind of the way that it goes, right? And I hope that's not the case. I really do. But I think there's a lot more to come out now that he's admitting to seeking help and stuff like that. I think that's great, but I think that the past might haunt him, and I hope I'm wrong in saying that, honestly, because
he's a crazy bastard.
Career.
But getting back to hockey, is it enough? Sorry, Jamie, but is it enough to spoil what's going on in Chicago right now? Like, is everybody just head spinning? The Connor Bedard's mom rumors, like all that stuff. That's got to be a dressing room debacle. Right? Like,
can you imagine?
I feel like teams could rally around something like this too, and be like, "Hey, we just got to focus on hockey. We got to get back to it." So maybe Chicago can turn things around, but they just don't have personnel. They just don't.
What if they don't have the talent, man? I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to draft a new team?
They're not going to be.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that the Trolls did that, and I can just feel for Connor Bedard's mom and Connor's family. It's the first year in the league, and something like this crazy happens, and then what happens online? She's got to delete all her socials. She's got to, just hide, basically, because all of her friends are asking her a million questions. She's like, "No, it's not true." Like, people are, double question her. It was crazy, it is absolutely insane. But I wanted to say Connor Bedard or Perry is a crazy.
Hypothetically, if she had Corey Perry's baby, that would be a pretty good hockey player. It'd be like
Josh, but no, seriously, boys.
Okay, all right.
Perry is crazy on the ice, and he's a great player, and he's a shit disturber. But he was always a class act off the ice. So it's really shocking that something like this happened at the end of his career. But we're going to leave it at that. We're going to move on. Honorable mentions with just having a tough time right now. Seattle Kraken 5-game losing streak. It's not a surprise. We won't really touch on it. But I do want to touch on a little bit about the struggles that the Buffalo Sabres have had. They've got another 3-game losing streak. They beat teams that they shouldn't. And they just don't show up for hockey games. And really, they've got an extremely talented team. And I don't know what's going on there either, but they've got to do something here quick, or another season lost and another playoffs missed. They're down 3-0 right now against the Red Wings. Of course, I would pick the Red Wings all day, every day, for that game, because the Red Wings are just on fire right now as well.
Would you before the season?
No, I would have picked Buffalo Sabres hands down, and that's the problem. But they're not like Dahlin's got 20 points. Middlestad's got 21. Skinner's got 18. But the players that are hurting, like Tage is out, in injury. Yeah. Tage Thompson, great player. But Dylan Cousins is on a cooler. He's got 4 goals this season, 7 assists. Like he's just not producing. And the boys, those boys right there have got to wake up. Even Owen Power as well, only 12 points, 1 goal. Like the boys have got to wake up here.
How's the old man feeling about that, Jamie? How's the old man feeling about that? He's a big Buffalo fan, isn't he?
He's having a tough time watching him. Like he's a huge fan and he watches every single game. But he's just like, how can they beat teams? Well, let's go back and see here. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But they're just playing terrible against terrible teams. And then when they're supposed to actually show up against, or not show up against teams like Detroit, like they're playing great and they're winning the game, but like not tonight. But they're just having a tough year, and it's really unfortunate because I really thought that of all the years that this year would be the year for them to really break it out and have a deep run. Like, the Hurricanes, they played them on December 2nd, lost 6-2. They lost to the Predators 2-1. Predators are playing all right, but they lost to the Blues 6-4. But then on Monday last week, they beat the Rangers 5-1. This is what I'm talking about. But then the Saturday before that, they lost to the Devils 7-2. Like, it's just rough to watch this hockey team right now, and I feel for their fans because that is the best arena to watch a hockey game in by far in the whole league. I love the setup of it. It's a great little tiny rink. The fans get right into it. They've got like half the rink. It's just really disappointing to see that team play right now, and I really wish them the best. I hope that they wake up and get out of it. But I'm gonna what Dylan or Brendan. I'll let Brendan comment on this. Brendan, what do you think about Buffalo? And what do they need to do right to kind of get back into things here?
I mean, like, I don't know if necessarily a season could be saved or lost at this point. It's still, in my opinion, too early to say, really. But I think the big thing is Tage Thompson, man. I mean, like that guy, he's just such a wicked talent. I mean, to have him in and out of the lineup, that hurts, right? And there's a lot of talent there, man. I feel like you got to give credit where credit's due in terms of acquisitions and stuff like that over the last couple of seasons to get to the point that they're at. It's disappointing, I'm sure, for Buffalo fans to see their team, underperforming the expectations preseason. And I can relate. I mean, shit, look at the jersey I'm fucking.
Absolutely. Hey, I can relate too. Toronto, as well. I can relate as well. We all can relate.
The one thing that I've noticed this year, this is the worst year that I can remember. I'm 54 years old, man. This is the worst year I've ever seen for the number of teams that are playing like shit. I've never seen this before. There is so many teams that are playing like shit. They'll go on little streaks. Oh, it's all of a sudden they're playing well, and then it's like a 3-game thing, and that's it. There's 10 teams right now that you can already tell they're not making the playoffs. At least that's the way I look at it. And I don't remember.
You better not say Ottawa's one of those.
No, actually, I wasn't.
Okay, we're cool.
I honestly believe that there's 10 teams in this league that don't have a chance.
He'll be on the first flight to Dominican Republic. Kick their ass.
I've never seen it before. I've never seen so much bad morale on so many teams as far as long as I can remember. And I mean,
a lot of poison. Yep.
Yeah, and there's also so many outside influences that seem to be affecting all these teams that are playing bad. And the media doesn't help. Like let's face it, the media, I don't know if it's intentional or what, but the media has been absolute trash. When they talk to the teams after the games, they're asking political questions. They're asking about their mom, their dad, all this stupidity shit. Talk about the fucking hockey. Mind your own fucking business. That's what I say. I love the other shit, like, fuck off.
Keep your head up, hockey, but you keep your fucking head down.
Yeah. I'm just so sick of the media right now. Like, I mean, they need more shows. Like us to talk about, like, the mainstream media that's been absolute trash. The questions they ask are garbage and stupid. Like, and it's intentional. It's like they're trying to intentionally aggravate the players and piss them off, and they don't want to talk. Yeah, I guess, you know what? We talked about Connor McDavid earlier. Maybe we can't blame him. Maybe he's tired of the shit, and it's
sick and tired of it. Yeah,
it's just been horrible. Yeah.
Well, they need something.
I wanted to mention too, though, about
right. They
need absolutely. I wanted to say that.
Stupid fucking questions all the time. They're running out of questions. They get the same cliche answers from everybody. The coaches, the players. It's the same lull you to sleep kind of question response. Like, blame the media. Yeah, I guess, but I think they're being pressured to be like, okay, we need to dig deeper on these guys and find out some more shit and get some.
Fuck them! It's hockey. It's not fucking Days of Our Lives like you've been talking about all day.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I'm tired of this shit.
To get to get attention from fans, I get it in the media. They want to be all up in people's personal lives, Kelsey and Taylor Swift and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
And they don't want to hear the generic, we got to get pucks deep and forecheck and fucking get back.
That's
and,
funny.
but people don't want to hear it. You know what I mean?
Answers, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same answers. You know,
And you got guys
gotta
like
get
Ryan
pucks deep.
Reeves who can give you a
We gotta
fucking
get pucks deep,
candid,
bro.
funny response.
So-
There's other guys.
Yeah, Ryan Reeves. Hey, I have 1 point and I'm minus 16.
Yeah, but he's
Well, we'll keep the show going,
he's
boys.
number
I'll scare the
one in
shit out of
hockey
some
interviews,
people on
all right?
Halloween.
Number
One-
one in hockey interviews this year.
One final question about Buffalo Sabres.
Got
Were
the
you
most laughs.
shocked? Were you shocked, boys? And just say yes or no, and then we can move on. Were you majorly shocked that Patrick Kane did not pick his home team and go back to the Buffalo Sabres and sign a big contract? Were you shocked, or were you like, nope, he should have went somewhere else? I personally was fucking majorly fucking shocked. Majorly shocked, because he used to go to the games with his dad all the time. He was a fucking fan. So that's like, Mitch Marner and fucking John Tavares coming to the Leafs to play. I was so shocked that he didn't sign, because Buffalo's got all the fucking cap space in the goddamn world. They really do. And they couldn't sign Patrick Kane.
But it's
Were you guys
Buffalo.
shocked?
It's Buffalo.
No.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
But
honestly,
he did go
I
to
am
Detroit,
shocked.
which isn't that much better, really,
Well,
overall as a
I'm-
city.
It's a
I'm-
better,
offense.
it's a better hockey market.
I'm sure you're great people, but
I'm
I
shocked,
only
honestly,
base my
man.
opinion on what I hear in the news.
Are
and I
you
believe
shocked,
everything
Brennan?
I hear in the
You
news.
shocked?
I am shocked, honestly. I mean, between Buffalo and Detroit, quite frankly, I mean, there's so much fucking young talent between both those teams right now. He could go and be successful either place. Let's face it,
That's what I
right?
thought.
With Thompson healthy. I mean, fuck Alex DeBrincat. Sorry, Alex DeBrincat, if you listen to this ever at any point in time, but fuck you for not showing up in Ottawa.
I'm sure he understands.
We'll get
Yeah,
him on
well,
the show
yeah.
when he retires.
I mean,
Damn
it's
right,
no
man.
fucking,
We'll
it's
ask
no
him
goddamn
about it.
secret.
You'll get your
It's no
answers,
secret.
Brendan. You'll
It's
get
no
your
fucking
answers.
mystery. It's
You
no
can share a
mystery.
tissue or two with
Anyways,
Alex
But yeah,
DeBrincat.
Kaner, all the
fucking
best of
player.
luck.
But anyways,
all the
yeah,
best
no,
of luck in Detroit.
I think that he could have made the decision either direction. I am surprised he didn't go with Buffalo with all the young talent there, to be honest.
He's got connections in Detroit, like the Brinket. So I'm not surprised that he didn't go anywhere else, but he kind of shoved it in the face of Buffalo by signing in Detroit, of all places, right?
A little bit.
divisional rival.
That I'm surprised with,
A
to be
little
honest with you. Detroit is a surprise for me. I thought he'd go to somewhere that where the taxes were less, like Florida or fucking Texas or something. Or warm, where he could golf, because
Yeah.
I know he likes to golf. So it didn't make any sense to me. But I mean, Detroit's a great team, and let's face it, the history of Detroit is phenomenal. They've got good ownership. They've got a great fan base. It's a good place to play hockey.
It's a well-run organization, not like Buffalo, unfortunately. Buffalo's a
Oh.
shit show.
We'll talk about two more topics, and then we'll wrap up the show. We're about 52 minutes in. Last topic will be a good one, I think, but we'll jump into this one. I think this is an interesting topic to talk about. The in-season tournament. So the NBA's got this in-season tournament, and if anybody's watched it, it actually has been pretty entertaining. I'm not a huge NBA fan, but I've actually tuned into a couple games to watch and see, the outcomes, and it's been pretty entertaining. Do I think the NHLs would follow suit during the season and do the same thing? I say no. I'm going to have you guys respond as well. But I say no to that. And the reason why I say no to that is we have an 82-game schedule. We are also doing the out-of-country games as well. The guys are way too busy during the year. What I propose, and I think this is a great idea, but will the guys get on board? I don't think so. I think they should have a summer tournament. They should have a roller hockey summer tournament outside in a city like Tampa Bay, or a city, like San Jose, nice and warm, Hollywood, on the beach, like really nice hot weather, and have a round robin tournament and have it outdoors. That's my idea. And have
We're
a new
way
trophy.
too technology inclined than that.
Man, come on, come up with the ideas here. We're just talking stuff, right? And that's my our thought on this. And my think cap throwing on there is I think they have a summer tournament, because how long do we have to go without hockey? Because we just love it. We want to watch it every day, right? Well, the summer break comes, give the boys a few weeks to, go back with their families, go to the cottage, have some beers with the boys, have a fire, and then go back, play hockey for a week in the middle of the summer, and then go back and do the exact same thing, go to the cottage, hang out, whatnot. But I think it's a great idea. That's my idea. But I think that the in-season tournaments are awesome. I think it's a great idea by the NBA. Do I think the NHL will actually follow suit? Probably not. But I think it's a unique and interesting idea. Dylan wanted to talk about this, so I'll throw it to him first. He brought it up to me, and I thought it was a great topic. Dylan, what are your thoughts on this, brother?
Yeah, I think it's a great way to grow the game, and I just think you have to do something about the format, so you maybe get some kind of best on best, or make it a little bit different. Like go with a 4-on-4, or you take the top players, like you take a selection of top players from every team and create some teams, or maybe you create teams out of each division or conference, right? So you don't have an in-season tournament with all 32 teams, but maybe you blend the teams. Maybe you have like a Western team. Maybe Edmonton and Vancouver and Calgary blend their top players and they have a team. Like that would be fucking cool. Like some kind of regional tournament, right? Like all the Florida and the Carolina.
You can't have that in the season for sure. So that'd be in the summer, right?
Right. Well, why couldn't you have it in the season?
Insurance, first of all.
Yeah, man.
Insurance, too much
and shit like that. Somebody taking out somebody else for other purposes during the season.
Well, okay. So my idea was like after.
Well, I mean, but it's potentially.
There's potential, but you pay the insurance, whatever the insurance is.
Like, but you know how much that insurance cost would go up if they were playing.
So much
during
fucking
the season,
money.
man.
You know how
even
much
in the
money
off
that
season,
would.
man. I don't think it's a possibility.
Would you not watch an in-season?
I'd watch it. I'd watch it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would fly in Canada, but I don't think it would fly so much in the States.
No. I think the market's very limited.
I think that would work though, Dylan. I think that you're going to the right idea.
I like the idea
of maybe having that summer.
I love the
activity and meshing the teams. Like maybe having like 12 captains and then having all the sticks in the middle with names on them and just going and picking sticks. Like I love that idea.
Fuck the names.
I don't mind that.
Names.
Yeah, just pick sticks and then whoever sticks, yeah.
Or like a good old fashioned box.
Yeah.
Like when you do those drafts where it's like you have like Matthews, McDavid, Bedard. You have all the top. You have a box 1, box 2, box 3. That would be sick, and just
it's
it would be like a fan
eyes closed,
or have the fans pick the teams.
I really think that we've come up with the idea. I just thought about the sticks, and I think that's like my go-to now, because I just think that would be so crazy to have that, live on TV, having guys just grabbing the sticks and chucking them. Oh, I like this one. I like this. Oh, this one's pink. Let's go to pinky.
That'd be like authentic grassroots hockey, like where it came from. That
fucking awesome.
My heart that you would say something like that.
Street hockey from the 80s and 90s, right?
I have to disagree with the roller hockey
tournament.
Roller hockey, I'm tapped out. I don't even watch that shit.
Yeah, no roller
it's gotta
hockey,
be on
man.
The frozen.
We got technology. Even if it wasn't Don Koharski's in Ottawa in the fucking old when it was a Corel Center, for fuck's sakes. Don Koharski's had a wax ice rink in there when I was a kid, and I'm fucking 42, right? So I'm a kid. I was like 12 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old. They had a wax rink inside of a restaurant where we could go in and skate around and shoot pucks and stuff. I'm sure the technology is there where we wouldn't have to play roller fucking hockey.
Yeah, actual hockey, but like in the summer.
Hockey. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
Jay's the old school guy on the show, a little bit older than the three of us. What are your thoughts, Jay, on this kind of new age idea of having these in-season tournaments or having that summer tournament? What are your thoughts on it?
Summer, absolutely. I think I would like to see best on best, because let's face it, the World Cup or whatever you want to, any hockey that we've ever had always seems to happen during the playoffs, and our Canadian best players are always, they make up for like 65% of the league, and they're never playing. Canada's never playing their best players against everybody else's best players. Or mostly, like some of the teams that are from Europe and whatnot, like, they have their best players playing, and they're playing against our, I won't say that they're playing against our worst players by any means, but we definitely don't have our best players playing.
Right.
So because we'd never fucking lose. We know it. We all know it. Everybody knows it. We'd never fucking lose if we had our best players playing all the time. The rest of the world knows it, and Gary Bettman knows it, and that's why we don't have that type of tournament. They make sure that it doesn't happen. It's intentional, and it's not just him either. It's the like as far as the Olympics are concerned, it's everything. It's annoying as fuck. So I would love to see a best on best obviously after the season, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't think we'd ever lose a game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll move it on. That was an interesting topic. We had to talk about it, but this one we got to talk about because it's happening right now. Maybe it's over now, but Monday, Tuesday, there was a big board meeting, for the NHL owners, and we had Knucklehead there as well. But they were talking a bunch of stuff, and I wanted to talk about what you guys wanted addressed on that board meeting. There's a few different topics. Number one, the salary cap. I really want that to go up. There's not enough money. The teams need more money to throw around. Expansion in Salt Lake City. They wanted to talk about. I've been reading. We talked about that last season or last show about what cities would make a really good fit. I think they talk about that. And then maybe potentially NHL players playing the Olympics again was another one I wanted to throw out there. But what did you guys want them to talk about? Because obviously it's going to be in the news here coming up in the next couple of days. We're going to find out, and we can kind of revision this again about what they actually talked about. But what did you guys want to see them talk about? I am going to start with Brennan on this. Brennan, what did you want them to talk about in the last couple of days?
Well, I think first off and foremost, as a hockey fan, man, it's NHL players playing in the fucking Olympics, man. I mean, like, I'm a fan of the sport. I just want to see the best of the best. We were just talking about best of the best playing against the best of the best, right? Why the fuck would we want to put any obstacle in the way of that? I don't understand it. I don't understand it whatsoever. And so I think that's as a fan. I mean, like, the Spengler Cup is fucking cool.
It's amazing. It's the biggest party in hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather win that or the Olympic gold medal?
Oh, 100%. The Olympics, right? For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to the Spengler Cup, though. It's a lot more fun.
But would a Spengler Cup Canadian team win the Olympic gold medal?
No,
nope.
Not even close.
There you go.
No, I'm totally agree. Totally agree.
I love it.
That's for me. That's me. Yeah.
I appreciate your opinion on that. We're going to go to J-Dog and then Dylan. J-Dog, what would you want them to talk about in the last couple of days? Because we really have.
Oh, seized up. I'm going to say the things.
There he is.
You did scared for a second, buddy. I would say, well, as far as the expansion is concerned, there's like 5 or 6 cities in the U.S. They're not gonna expand in Canada. We know that. And there's 5 or 6 cities in the U.S. that I think would probably do quite well. And we already talked about Houston before. I mean, they got a huge population, whatever. But I think one of the best cities, and it's a great sports city, is San Antonio. San Antonio's got a great sports city. They've got the population. I think they're at almost at 1.5 million. They've got the population. They're in a great spot as far as where they are, as far as location's concerned. And I think if you look at the history of the city, they've always accepted, like when they have teams, they've always accepted them quite well. The Spurs, man, when they first came in the league, man, they were selling out like crazy, and that's way back when. But that's a basketball market. Like, sure,
having experience and only lived 3 hours away from San Antonio and Abilene for 5 years, man, I can tell you with confidence it's not a strong hockey market. Honestly, look at how long it took Dallas to gain traction.
True.
It didn't take them long to win,
No.
But to gain traction afterwards, right?
Well,
Like, it was kind of fucked.
I just think San Antonio's got a lot of well-off people.
For sure.
I think, and it's not just like personal wealth. There's a lot of
generational wealth.
Right? Yeah, and generational. Yeah. So I think that they would support the team fairly well. And if let's face it, just like every other team that Bettman's been pushing, they've done fairly well in the last like 7 or 8 years. What have we got? Like 3 teams in the last 10 years, I guess. And they've all done well. They all started off well. They have all pushed well. The only team that really sucked was Atlanta. Atlanta's the only team that's really been bad over the last 20 years. Coming out of the gate, and I that's the only thing I'll give Bettman credit for. When he puts a team in, it's pretty well thought out. So,
and I don't think that he's necessarily the brains behind it, right?
No, but he's got the people doing the work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So,
well, Dylan, let's hear from you. I haven't heard from you yet. What did you want this board meeting to entail? What did you want them to talk about the last couple of days?
He seized up and didn't hear you.
Didn't hear me. You don't hear me?
Cut out twice there.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Must be a snowstorm. Must be something we were talking about in the big bad wolves of the world who run the world. They're cutting me out because they don't.
He wanted to know what you were thinking.
Yeah.
We're wondering what you're thinking about the board meeting the last couple of days, buddy.
Okay, yeah. One of the things that was really weird was they were talking about doing some kind of dramatic draft at the Sphere in Las Vegas, and I'm like, honestly, do people are they trying to sell the draft as bigger than it was? Like, I mean, I'm a huge hockey fan, but like, I maybe watched the first 10 minutes of that draft. It's just like, I don't fucking care. I don't watch hours and hours of kids getting drafted. Like, I have no idea.
I do.
I'm saying, like, that's even as a huge hockey fan, like, I don't give a shit about the draft that much. Like, I'd rather just read the news. Like, I don't want to actually watch it, but they want to like try to bolster.
I like checking out all the mobs.
I'd like to see them get it. I'd like to see the NHL draft get them to boost it up a little bit and hype it up a little bit more, like the NFL draft.
Well, I was just gonna say
the
NFL
NFL draft's crazy.
Like you got people traveling across the country to boo against the fucking team that's drafting. Like that's
I know, but
that's fanship. That's dedication, man.
But
I'm telling you,
don't have that kind of pull with hockey here.
I don't know.
You don't have that kind of pull. Like the NFL's it's massive.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but
so you're not gonna get. Like you can't follow models of other sports. I just don't think it's the same with the in-season tournament. Like the NHL needs to find its own way.
But why can't you?
And it's got to go through the channels that work. The people that love the game, the people like us that love the game, they got to. Like I've never received a survey from the NHL being like, "What do we?" As a guy who loves hockey, like who are they? Where are they getting
these argument? Crayon.
I've never been to it.
I want to argue that. So I love junior hockey, and I grew up watching the London Knights, and boy, oh boy, what a dynasty they had. I want to see, Easton Cohen's already drafted, but like kids like him, like coming up, I want to see them get drafted. And, mom and dad, like they're going to want to tune in, and, grandma and grandpa and all their cousins and all their friends are going to want to tune in. Make it more entertaining, I think is a huge plus for the NHL. If they actually did that, like I'm on board with Brennan, like NHL does not do the draft right. So I think it is actually a valid topic. I think that they should spice it up a little bit and get more Canadians involved, get the U.S. markets that normally don't even tune in at all and don't even care about the draft to actually tune in and spice it up a little bit. Maybe have some live entertainment. I don't know what they're going to do, but do something because like it doesn't mean anything. And I agree with you, Dylan. Like I normally don't give a fuck. Like I know who's going to get drafted. I know the top 10.
It's so boring.
Yeah, but then you valid argument. Then it's boring as shit. Fucking make it more entertaining. And
how?
I agree with you.
And this is going to be controversial as fuck, and I know it. But you know how? And I know Jay, you're already. I see you, buddy. It's controversial as fuck, but you know how to make it more entertaining, make it more of a spectacle? You gotta get the fucking sports gambling advertising into it, buddy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Who's
man.
gonna really go second or
who's
third
gonna
or
go
fourth?
first?
I mean,
second.
you increase your viewership tenfold if you fucking produce Vegas odds and multiple sports books.
Yep.
Tenfold.
That takes away from the purity of this of it all,
does.
though, man.
I agree.
That takes away from
I
the
do agree.
wholesomeness of it.
It's
The
already in.
wholesomeness. These kids who have worked their ass off, the grassroots kids, who they're finally getting a chance to hear their name called and throw that jersey on. Like, it's a special
But how many
moment.
more people
I
are
don't
going
know.
to hear their name now?
Yeah.
How much
And how
money
much
would
more
you
money
put
they're going
down
to make?
though?
They'll be happier about that. Because they will.
How much
Yes.
money would you have put down though for Connor Bedard to get drafted first? Probably your whole bankroll, because
Right.
I mean,
how
that's
is he
not
getting
saying
drafted
much,
first?
but yeah.
Yeah, put 10
Those
grand down,
odds
you're
are,
gonna make
they
you're gonna
wouldn't
make
even.
$500. You know,
So
like guaranteed,
I think-
easily. You know,
I
so
think
Who's gonna bet against that?
the way they make this
I
better.
like that. I like that. We're gonna touch on that later about the draft at the end of the year before the new draft comes out, because let's touch on that again. But let's wrap it up, boys. It was a great show. It really was. Okay, well, yeah, Jay, you want to have one more?
I
word?
think
Go
this
ahead,
is the
brother.
best way. Honestly, you want to increase people watching. The top 4 teams from the year before that made the Final Four, they get to pick like they normally do. And, the other way around. They get to pick the top 4. Everybody else afterwards is a lottery.
Oh, I like that too.
What
I
do you-
like that too.
say that again?
Mix
The
it up.
Top 4 teams get to pick. If you finish in the top 4, you get to pick the top dudes and the top 4. I think.
Hey,
and
That's
everybody else is a
problematic.
fucking lottery.
That's problematic,
I like
though,
it.
because if you're already a top team and you're already getting,
And then you're
You
getting
get a
one in the
top
top
pick?
4 the next
hey,
year.
you're
Wouldn't you watch?
Dynasties.
Though? Wouldn't you watch?
I mean, you can only motivate guys to play harder so much.
How about
You
this?
can't- You
I
can't,
like that
you
idea,
can't motivate
Jake.
them
How
to be
about-
more talented.
How about the top 4 teams pick for the bottom 4? So
Whatever.
they get to pick the players.
Something.
Then maybe mix it up that way. I don't know. We're fishing
We're going off
for
the
thoughts
mark.
here.
I'm picking-
Let's
I
wrap
feel
it
like
up.
one- I have one
final
things I want to
point.
mention that
I think
GG
it's
Poker is
lottery.
still our sponsor. We're going to wrap it up. GG Poker is still our sponsor. Bonus code KYHUH. Keep your head up, hockey. If you want to get involved and you're not from Ontario, GG Poker is the best place to play. Get involved, support the channel. When you get to that bonus code spot when you're signing up, definitely put our code. Make sure that you do. If you have played there before and you're more than 3 months of inactivity, send me an email. Jump onto our Facebook page. Send me an email. We're going to hook you up for joining KYHUH Poker. Also, Twitch TV, Keep Your Head Up Poker. I haven't done it for a couple weeks. Been busy. I'm going to get back up on there Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Watch me. I'm on a hot streak. I've been winning. Let's win some tournaments. Tune in and see me. But it's been an absolute blast. Great to have all 4 back, and no stream problems at all tonight. Fantastic. Loving it up. Thank you so much for being a fan. If you liked our stream, give us a smash. Tell your friends about it, your family and friends. Let's grow this group. We need more people watching our show, because you know what? We call it like it is. We're different. We're better. Watch our fucking show. Anyway, love yous. Thanks so much for tuning in to Keep Your Head Up Hockey X-rated hockey show. And we'll see you next week on Tuesday, right back here on YouTube. Love yous. Take care.
Good evening, all.